From my faith and belief and value system, and I know that it's not shared by everyone, but I must thank God because it is certainly from Him that all of my blessings flow. And this is certainly an amazing blessing for me to be here with you this afternoon. Chancellor Peacock, I want to thank you for your many years of service to Appalachian, but more importantly to me, for your special friendship. And Dean Edwards, thank you so much, and my dear friend Heather, for giving me this honor to be here today. And I want to thank Haley Childers, and I want to thank Eric Barnes also for getting me to where I needed to be at the right time and at the right place over the past couple of days. And Heather, you did a really good job of saying my name. I hear all the time that my name is difficult to say. And I don't think so. Of course, I've been saying it for a long time. And I love my name. I married Mr. Wright. And this year, Mr. Wright and I celebrate 45 years of marriage. Isn't that awesome? Yes, he is a lucky man. And no, we're both very, very blessed. I was giving a speech somewhere. I do a lot of diversity work, and I was doing a diversity training in another city, in another state, and the person who was going to introduce me said, I am so worried about this evening's presentation. And I said, don't worry, it's going to be fine. She said, well, I'm most worried about saying your name when I introduce you. She said, but I've been practicing all day. Brenda White Wright, Brenda White Wright. And I said, good, girl, you got it. And so then she got up and she stood up in front of this group who were not smiling back like a lot of you are here today, because they were mad that they had to go to yet another diversity training. Some of you know what I mean. So anyway, she gave that long, boring introduction, and she said, and now, ladies and gentlemen, our speaker, White Brenda Wright. As soon as she said it, she knew it was not right. And so I just stood up and said, I'm so sorry, White Brenda Wright couldn't be here. You'll have to deal with me. So for the next few minutes, you get to deal with me. And I have a very few minutes to share with you decades of my life lessons learned while leading and while living as an African American woman in this United States of America. And so I know Randy has given me 10 minutes to share with you over 60 years of my lifetime of experiences. And so I will try to do that, and I know too that we're all looking forward to Mr. King's presentation this afternoon. I'm just his warm-up act, and so I'm very clear about that. But I want to share with you in the brief 10 minutes that I have 10 lessons that I've learned, core values. Will Sutton talked this morning about core values, and those are the things that drive our actions. These are the things that drive me. These are the things that encourage me to get up every day and to keep going and to try to do a better job than I did before. And so, if you would bear with me, the first one I want to encourage you to consider is to have quiet time every day. That is so very important. We just get up and we just go and we do and we do and we do all day long, and then we come home and we do into the night. But I want to encourage you to have quiet time every day. That may mean that you might need to get up earlier or stay up later. Some of you who still have young children at home, like my friend Heather, don't try this quiet time when your kids are up. They have no respect for you and your quiet time. So if you do have children at home, I encourage you to do it while they are asleep. But use this quiet time to meditate, to pray, to dream, to vision, but just to center yourself. I call it kind of going to the filling station of life. It's really just that quiet time. Because I believe, ladies and gentlemen, we don't burn out as much as we just give out. We give out because we have not stopped to take the time to take care of ourselves. So many of us take better care of our cars than we do ourselves. We'll take them in for tune-ups. We take them in to get the tires rotated. What about you? What about you? And I want to encourage you to take this quiet time to reflect on you and your own life. And in this quiet time, another thing that you might do, moving to number 2, is each one of you, and all of these messages I believe are for the students as well as those of us who are professionals and senior citizens and retirees. But always have a vision for your life. One of my abiding principles says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Where is it that you want to go? And don't allow other people to make that determination for you. I grew up in segregation, where I had people all the time telling me where I could go, where I could not go, where to sit, where to stand, where to sit, where not to go. Do this, don't do that. Have a vision for your life. And don't let people determine that for you. As I shared with some of the students this morning, don't let people should all over you, because they will definitely try to do that. But set your own vision for your life, because truly I believe that all things are possible with determination and with hard work. Set that vision and a plan of action for getting there, and then work that plan. Have these core values that Will talked about, and put those plans into action, and you will see them come to be. I know I'm getting ready to step on some toes, because the third thing that I believe is that we need to exercise every day. Physically, mentally, and spiritually. We talk about balance in life. I believe that we are created threefold beings, body, soul, and spirit. And I believe that we have to nourish each one of those and exercise doing each one of those things. Neither one of my parents lived to be as old as I am right now. They both died early of heart disease. I might not be the sharpest crayon in the box, but that tells me something. It tells me that I cannot exercise and not try to eat properly and not live the long life that I would like to live so that I can be around my grandchildren. So I try to do those things. Take that time every day. And exercise, it doesn't have to be step aerobics. It can be intentionally parking farther away and walking. It can be choosing to take the stairs instead of the elevator. Mentally exercise. Learn a new thing. I retired and went back to school and got a master's and a doctorate degree. And I got my doctorate right before my 60th birthday. And I was able to look in the eyes of my children and my grandchildren and say, no excuses. None. Always be willing to learn. The number 4 thing I want to tell you about is quit giving excuses. Quit giving excuses. We do that a lot in this culture. I learned that lesson from Mrs. Juanita Freeman, my 5th grade teacher. Now, when I was in the 5th grade, she was the meanest, ugliest woman on earth. If Mrs. Freeman said, Brenda, bring your math homework and go up to the blackboard. We had blackboards back then with things called chalk. Some of you know what I'm talking about. But go to the blackboard and put up problems 2 and 3. If I said, Mrs. Freeman, I didn't do mine because I was sick. Miss Freeman, I didn't do mine because I didn't know it was due today. Miss Freeman, I didn't do mine because I left my books in school. If I said anything like that to Mrs. Freeman, she would come from behind that desk, because in the old days, teachers taught from behind desks. She would come from behind that desk, walk right over to me, and I knew it was going to be bad. She would put her hand, I can still see it, put her hand on the hip and put that finger right next to my nose. And she would say, Brenda Wright, don't you give me excuses, girl, because all excuses will do for you is keep you right where you are. Do you want to stay another year with me in the 5th grade? What do y'all think the answer to that question was? I'm thinking, no, Miss Freeman, I want away from your mean, ugly self as soon as possible. But you just thought it, you didn't say it. Because another thing, back when I was in school, there was no such thing as child abuse. Don't get me started on that. You got whippings at school. I know a lot of you young people don't know anything about that. But for those of you in my age group, if you got a whipping at school, what'd you get at home? Hello, you got a whipping for getting a whipping, didn't you? Moving on. But quit giving excuses. Number 5, maintain an attitude of gratitude. Everybody in here is blessed. Everybody in here has a sob story. Maintain an attitude of gratitude. No matter how bad things are, you always have something to be thankful for. And I believe, and I have found, that the more thankful I am for what I have today, the more I'll have tomorrow to be thankful for. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can see me, that's a blessing. If you can hear me, that's a blessing. If you have mobility and you walked into this room, that's a blessing. Be a blessing. That will get you farther than people seeing you coming and saying, oh God, let me go the other way. Because they know you're never going to have anything good to say. Be blessed, be a blessing, have an attitude of gratitude. Number 6 is something that I do all-day trainings on around diversity. But it's be more respectful of differences. Be more respectful of differences. No matter where you are in life, I believe what my grandmother taught me. I was raised by my mother and grandmother, Mama and Big Mama. And Big Mama would say to me, baby girl, you ain't no better than anybody, but you as good as everybody. And I said, yes, ma'am, and I believe that. Be more respectful of differences. Because I believe that the more we do that, the greater our influence and our impact will be. And I want to go on record, I don't want to be tolerated. I want to be respected. And I think there's a big difference in being tolerated and being accepted for who I am and for what I bring to the table. You know, I've had people to say things to me like, Brenda, when I see you, I don't see color. My response is, well, then you don't see me. I am not a white woman with a good tan. I'm an African-American woman raised in segregation, and I bring all of that history to the table. I don't want to be tolerated. I want to be heard, and I want to be respected. Number 7, be a lifelong learner. You can learn from anyone, and I learn more from students than I ever do from people in my age group. I love being around Jake Cox and Eric and all the students who are here at Appalachian. They have so much to teach us. I was in my 40s before I ever sat in front of a computer. They've been doing it all their lives. I think they have a lot to teach me about technology. You heard me say I retired and went back to school. My greatest challenge was technology. I needed people who were younger than my own children to help me deal with that. It's about being respectful of that and always being willing to learn. And ladies and gentlemen, learning starts with listening. And really listening, not just hearing. Hearing is a gift. Listening is a skill. Really listening to people. I think that that is really important. Be a servant leader. Leadership is never about you. It's always about other people. Always look at what can I do to make a difference in the life of somebody else. It's about servant leadership. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. wrote it this way: if you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. Everyone can be great because everyone can serve. Number 9, laugh more often. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have friends who don't make you laugh, I want you to get new friends. Because you're not going to make it if you don't have a sense of humor and if you don't have people who can make you laugh. Developing a sense of humor is really, really important. And there are also a lot of benefits to laughter. Just a couple among them. I think you know these things, that physical health benefits of laughter. They trigger these wonderful hormones called endorphins, which boosts immunity and lowers your stress hormones. Mental health benefits, adds joy to life, eases anxiety and fear. Social benefits, strengthens relationships, attracts others to us. E.E. Cummings said, the most wasted of all days is one without laughter. And a lot of you out there, and I can tell because I'm a student of body language as well, I want to say to you, when you suppress laughter, it goes to your hips and it spreads. Some of y'all sitting out there, she ain't funny. The last thing I want to share with you along these lines is, love what you do what you love, and if you love someone, tell them. If you appreciate someone, tell them. If you're working with people and they do a good job, tell them. Don't just assume that they know. It is so important to let people that you love, let them know that, because tomorrow is not promised to any of us. And I just want to close by saying, I love Appalachian State University, and I'm so blessed and grateful for the opportunities that I have to lead here, to serve here, and to love here. God bless you. Thank you so much.